Wayne, the boys must be high on confidence, and I suppose it's a different scenario where you go into this match and a lot of people are really expecting you to beat the Bulldogs, who have been a top four side the last few years.
Certainly got some confidence out of the last couple of weeks. We played some reasonable footy the first 3 or 4 weeks but didn't get the results, but last 3 weeks it's gone our way, but we're coming up against a side that's played 3 prelims in a row and we finished 15th or 16th or wherever we finished, so certainly a huge game this weekend.
Was it a bit of a coming of age, do you think, last week for the guys, the way they were able to guts out that win and then go on with it?
Well, certainly you need some positive feeling from what you're doing from training, and you're putting that into place in a game, and then you get some confirmation against a really good side in Freo when you win the game. So it's sort of it becomes a little bit self-fulfilling. We hope that happens again this Sunday.
What do you make of the Dogs? They've lost their past 3 games, but they're against good sides, and they've been really competitive with them as well.
Yeah, I've obviously watched them pretty closely, and they played a great game against Freo over there. It was just a classic contest, and they, 2 minutes to go, they're up by 6 or 7 points. Collingwood, they're equal with 10 minutes into the last quarter, and then Sydney they were with towards the end. So certainly they've lost the last 3, but they're playing some pretty good footy at the same time.
Let's give you so much confidence knowing that your midfield can match it with any other midfield in the competition. So when it comes to contested ball in the centre and clearances, you're a massive chance.
Yeah, still developing, obviously, young and up-and-coming midfield, but coming up against a really good midfield that have been together for a long period of time. So it'll be a really good contest. It's always won and lost with winning the contested footy, and that's something that the Bulldogs have prided themselves on for a period of time. So certainly we hope that we can match them in that area.
And you had a range of goal kickers against the Dockers too, probably up there with the most you've had this year.
Yeah, we haven't kicked that many goals for a long time, so it was good to kick lots of goals, I suppose, and restrict Freo, and also to have a range. Damien's been really keen on us not relying on Jack to kick too many, and that happened last week, so we're hoping that continues to happen.
Can you talk a bit about Robbie Nahas's development? He looked like a player who was sort of on the fringes of just sort of, I guess, staying with in the playing group first of all, but he just seems to have really kicked on in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think the penny dropped with him over the pre-season, that he had one more year to establish himself as an AFL footballer. He worked as hard as he's ever worked in his life. He's only a young guy, but put in a really big pre-season, and that's what happens when you put in the reward and when you put in the work and you've got some talent, you get some reward, and he's got that the last couple of weeks, but it's come from a hell of a lot of hard work over a 6-month period.
So is it mainly just that he's got greater fitness now, or what's sort of been the development in his game?
Yeah, I think so. He's got stronger, he's got fitter, he's had another pre-season under his belt, and he's had a real crack at it. So you can see with some of his running. He always ran pretty well in games, but he could fall away towards the end. But now he's just got greater confidence in the work that he's done.
In light of what's happened with Jack Trengothen and that tackle, do you guys talk to the players about just being really careful about the way you tackle?
No, not really. I know it's a big story out there, but we're interested as much as anybody. But we'll still attack the tackle as hard as what we've done the last couple of weeks.
Is there a chance the Dogs might sort of pull a bit of a Swifty and bring Lake out of the VFL, do you think? Or?
Don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure they could, but we'll wait until they name their side on Thursday night or Friday, whenever it is, and then we'll play whoever they put out there.
I heard the coach on 3AW last night. He was talking about Dusty Martin's development. He sent him out to watch Dane Swan a bit over the past couple of weeks. Have you sort of been involved in that and helping him along as well?
Yeah, I do a bit of the opposition, so Dusty comes along a fair bit and watches a bit of footy once I can get him to concentrate for fair periods of time. But he watches all the elite players in the competition, and so obviously Dane's been that for the last 2 or 3 years. So he watches him a bit. He watches a lot of the good midfielders. So he's certainly a young guy that wants to learn and wants to get better, and it's a terrific attribute to have. And he's getting some of the rewards for it out on the field.
Dimmer did say he was sort of hoping that to develop him to the point where, as Swan, he doesn't get tagged so much anymore. Is that feasible? Do you think to get there?
I think well, I hope so, I suppose. But certainly he got tagged for the first time, a real tag last week. He got tagged a little bits and pieces last year, but that was the first really one with De Boer running with him, and he will have learnt a lot about that. And I suppose that's the key thing with having multiple players through your midfield with Cochrane and Foley and these sort of guys, and Jacko as well, that they can only tag one of them, hopefully, so that allows that player to work on what he's doing and allows the other guys to get some footy.
Yep. Just with the Dogs' defence, missing a few tall players there. I mean, Ty Vickery's been a player that's been coming along reasonably nicely. Is it a good chance for him to really sort of stamp himself on a...
Yeah, he's been playing some good footy, Ty, anyway, but they have got some players that can go back there. With Murphy can play tall, and Markovic's been playing pretty well, and Williams still might be a chance to come up, so certainly Ty's been progressing pretty well. Hope he kicks a couple of goals this weekend for sure.